You and I with Rashmi Shetty is a human library audio podcast bringing in stories of people you and I can draw inspiration from. Welcome to the third season of this amazing story listening journey. Ordinary folks, extraordinary lives, their uniqueness and individuality, making them interesting to talk to and to listen to, each one of them completely connected to the voice in me and with motivational stories of moving beyond themselves to make a difference in the world. A reaffirmation of the fact: open your eyes wider. The world is far more beautiful when we acknowledge the presence of both you and I. Today is the eve of International Mother Earth Day. 22nd April is celebrated world over as International Mother Earth Day. My guest on You and I with Rashmi Shetty is special. A self-taught landscape artist, Janet Yegneswaran. Her mission is to plant trees and sustain the green cover in Bengaluru. Positive and with an amazing attitude, this 74-year-old clearly shows age is just a number if passion and purpose are equally balanced. Janet started designing gardens for neighbors and then commercially for factories, educational institutions, and government establishments. She landscaped the huge gardens for Counteract Stadium for the National Games in 1997. In memory of her husband, she started a trust to plant trees, Janet Yegneswaran Charitable Trust. It was in 2005 that tree cutting started in Bengaluru. While friends implored her to join the Dharna against tree cutting, she refused. She found the Dharna approach negative, and to be positive, she decided to plant trees instead and nurture them. Till date, she and her team of volunteers have planted 97,000 trees all over Bengaluru and Tanjavur. The wide network of volunteers in Bangalore and the meaningful work that they did is the reason Reforest India project got its due from media, who supported them wholeheartedly, and their work got recognized. Listen in as Janet shares her journey as an eco-warrior who has found her purpose. Hi, Janet. Such a pleasure meeting you. After reading all that you have accomplished, I'm super thrilled that for this International Earth Day special, you are my guest on You and I with Rashmi Shetty. Welcome to the show. So I'm curious to know, for all the work that you do with nature, where was your childhood and what were your little Janet days to bring you to the Janet that the world knows you today as?
Being born in Madikeri, a hill station in Kodagu, greenery is in my blood. I grew up in a family of 7 siblings, parents, grandparents, and extended family of animals. It was always plural: dogs, cats, rabbits, cows, birds, etc. And even a monkey was a pet in our house. After we moved to Bangalore, I studied in Rani Sarla Devi School in Jayanagar. My mother was a grammar teacher, and my father was Secretary Finance, Government of Karnataka. A lot of friends, my brother's friends, my friends, all growing up together.
And when we talk about nature, at that time, you're talking about 60s. You're talking about 60s, 1960s. Bangalore must have been.
60s, yeah, 55, 60.
Yeah, so Bangalore must have been green, full of lakes.
Yes.
The original Bangalore that it was, right?
I think I brought a lot of plants from Kurk because those were not here. So every time I went to Kurk, my aunt's place for summer holidays, we always spent there. I used to come back with a lot of other ferns and so many lilies and so many greenery, and I used to add it to my garden.
Okay. Was it very natural because you grew up in Kurk to love plants and have plants
I
around
was
you?
passionate about plants. That's much I know.
Okay. And were you the only girl at home, or did you have
We
siblings?
are 3 sisters.
Okay.
I was the middle one.
Okay. And as far as your schooling goes, how were you as a student? A topper, a person who performed very well in extracurricular? What kind of a student were you?
I was always in this playing outside, outdoor, whether it is basketball or whatever it is. And after school, I did my PUC in Vijaya College and then joined the diploma in secretarial practice and in Women's Polytechnic. I was a topper and I got gold medal in the course. I was selected from the NCC to do my basic mountaineering course. So that I did in Uttarkashi. And that really made me tough.
Mountaineering from secretarial course. How did they all find a common point in you, Janet? What drew you? NCC was something that you naturally went into, or somebody suggested? How did mountaineering happen?
NCC was something which my sister did and I did it.
Okay.
That continued. And mountaineering, I got selected from the college, from the NCC.
So you must have been somebody who was into fitness and sports and all that?
Those days, yes.
Okay.
And table tennis, everything. I was always a sports girl.
And as you finished your secretarial course and you did mountaineering and all of this, what course of work and career did you pick up?
I did my diploma in secretarial practice. I got immediate appointment in Hindustan Machine Tools.
Okay.
Then I went to Mangalore Chemicals and Fertilizers, and then on to Larsen & Toubro. I worked years there till I got married. After marriage, I stopped, stayed at home. That time, I had plenty of free time. That's the time I really got into developing the plants, propagating, and started selling it to the neighbors and friends. And with their encouragement, I started landscaping because my house garden, I used to always be very particular and used to win prizes from Lal Bagh. Continuously, I used to win prizes. So all my neighbors, friends, everybody wanted their garden to be made. So I started slowly getting into that field. And finally, I made for factories like Mining Group. Then I did for Container Stadium. That was a huge garden. And I maintained it for 5 years. And I won prizes from Lal Bagh for the garden, their garden also. So which means you don't have only a green thumb, all your 10 fingers are green and they're very nature friendly. Even now my garden is full of plants and I won prize last year from the garden, small garden entry. Congratulations. Because I'm sure your house is one house that should be seen definitely. Yeah, it's a concrete jungle of Ejipura. You hardly see anything. Only my road has got a lot of trees which I planted. Garden is full of plants. When you moved to Bangalore, Bangalore was green. But when you saw things around you slowly going off, the green cover going off, what is it that you started feeling personally? It was very sad. The trees being cut. First, I started this Reforest India Trust when my husband passed away in 2003. In his memory, I started and wanted to plant trees. And that is the time tree cutting started in Bangalore. And my friends started asking me to come and join them for Dharna. It was against tree cutting. So I was not for it. I said it's better that be positive and start planting. Within no time, it becomes trees. You're crying over a cut. It's very negative. Okay. So that is how I started planting. And initially, my volunteers and I used to go around, scout around the house and ask the people, can we plant a tree in front of your house? Most of the time, it was said no, because people were not aware of planting trees. They wanted place for their cars to be planted. They didn't want any kasara in front of the thing to sweep. Yeah. So all these excuses they were giving, but still we used to go during the weekends with the shovel and crowbar, and whoever was interested used to dig and plant a tree. Janet, you were somebody who was at home, a homemaker who loved plants. Seeing your work, your neighbors asked you to design their garden. So from someone who designed her own, you went into becoming a landscape artist. Then when people called you for a dharna, you thought being more positive is all about creating awareness about replanting, and Reforest India was born. Now, when you look back and you're connecting the dots, what
And who were those people who were there behind you to say, yeah, go ahead? Because it was way ahead of its time to think of planting trees when there were already tree covers in Bangalore. Today, if you talk about it, people are like, yeah, we miss old Bangalore. But you're talking about a time when Bangalore was slowly progressing, but the
Yeah.
green cover was still there.
Still there. It
Yeah.
was in 80s.
What prompted you to think of planting
One of
trees?
them was my own brother,
Okay.
Clement Alfred, and he was my first volunteer, and he's still a volunteer. He comes and helps me with the office, the administration, everything he helps.
Okay.
And he is about 4 years older than me. Okay, still he travels from Banshankari by bus and comes here to help me out. And like that, we had a lot of volunteers who were passionate about trees.
Okay.
They all joined,
Okay.
and they used to give their time.
Mm.
The weekends to come dig everything they were doing themselves. They had to bring their families also to dig and plant.
Mm.
So like that, it grew slowly.
Okay.
And
Yes. And where did that lead you from there?
from there, the media covered us.
Mm.
And the pictures of our planting and all came in the thing so that people could knew about our organization. Those who really wanted trees could contact us.
Mm.
And we will go, even if it's one tree, we'll travel all the way throughout the city, anywhere, and plant it for them and come. Okay.
What were your motivations, Janet? Because uh, after a point when people are rude, when people say no, you're working hard around it. You're taking these little saplings and going and planting it in front of people's homes or in areas. And you're hearing no more often than yes.
Yes.
So what is it that prompted you to continue to stay motivated with this mission?
It was my volunteers, I should say, mainly.
Okay.
Because they were so passionate, I also was really wanted to do it because
Hmm.
of the support. Without the support, I would not have been able to come to this stage. Even now, it is volunteers who help me, whether it's here in Bangalore or in this for the farmers in villages. And from Doddaballapur, Chikballapur, Kolar. Usha is one of my volunteers.
Okay.
So, like that, volunteers have helped me to find the place, to keep everything ready so that when I take the plants and go there, the pits are ready, and I take the plant and people are ready to accept it and plant it, and they will look after it. Main thing for us is the tree has to be looked after. And we plant it only where it is watered and nurtured. We do not plant it just because there's a place. That's the main thing for us.
Okay. So as you progressed on this path, you realized you were way ahead of your times because at that time nobody was talking climate change. Though the concept of Earth Day came in the 70s, it was officially launched only in 2009 when people realized that climate change was getting to be real. So on your journey, you became an eco warrior. And in Bangalore city, the city needed people like you. So as you progressed, you said your volunteers were your motivators and you were being written about. So people became aware of you. Do you have any story where it touched you completely on the way people accepted you? Any particular instance where you were completely surprised with the reaction people gave you?
See, we're planted everywhere, like Army, Air Force, railways, everybody have called us and we have planted. And they have come to know of us. We didn't go and ask them.
Correct.
It is they who came to us. And then education institutions, and especially Army Institute of Catering Technology, they have been calling us every year for Environment Day. And when we entered there, it was a completely barren land. With only buildings were there. And now it is filled with, it's about 10 acres land, I think, filled with 10-year-old trees. Completely like a forest it is. Still they make place and ask us to come on Environment Day and planted 1 or 2 trees at least. Indians have been doing it. One example is Usha herself, who has given us chance to plant in Chikballapur, and she has got us the sponsors also for that.
So when a mission is true, when a mission is real, you find the right people.
Yeah.
But when you're on your own to make a difference, not everybody buys you. So, what is it that motivates you to continue your work? Because you're volunteering all the time.
Yes.
So, what are your motivating factors and what takes you further in all these years when you look back and you see this journey of today, reforestation makes sense, but we are talking climate change today. You foresaw that long back when Bangalore had its tree getting cut.
Yes.
So, when you look back on your journey, what is it that prompted you to continue this journey?
What is it prompted me? Because corporates and volunteers used to bring corporates to me, and their volunteers used to come and plant trees. And initially, they didn't know anything about trees. Nowadays, people know. But when they used to come those days, we used to go to the farms to plant. And there, the farmers, when we plant something for them, they give something in return. So they used to pull out either carrot or kadlakai, whatever it is, from the ground, from the ground, and give it to us. And I remember one of the officers who had come along with it from the corporate, he was surprised to see that groundnut grows in the ground. He thought it grows in the trees.
So, as you continue further, Janet, what kind of support did people give you? Did people understand the purpose behind your mission? And what is it that were there awards, were there special moments of recognition, were there certain events where you were invited, which gave you an amazing feedback that, okay, I'm on the right path?
I was felicitated by Mr. Punnati Sridhar, DCCF of Forest Department, Aranya Bhavan, in the presence of all senior IAS officers. And then H.D. Kumaraswamy sent me a tweet when my article came in Bangalore Mirror. A 3-page article came. He had sent a tweet, and I was felicitated by KSRTC. And I received Times of India Foundation Earth Award 2011. So that gave us a boost. And corporates like Cycle Agarbatti, they sponsored our planting in Tanjavur, where the people had lost 2,000 coconut trees in the Gaja cyclone. So we planted about 2,000 coconut trees there. They not only financed, their employees came all the way and were a part of our volunteers. So it is a real huge this thing where even volunteers from Tanjavur came, volunteers from Cycle came, and our volunteers also came from Bangalore. And it was a real success. We went from house to house. We don't give the plants and come away. Even the IAS officer there, he spoke about it. He said, we have seen organizations coming and giving the plants and going. We have never seen anyone coming from house to house, digging the pits and planting and telling them to take care of it. Okay, that was one thing. And even Kodagu, we went when the landslides were heavy. We went there and planted more than 1,000 trees in the banks of Kaveri. So that was also sponsored by Cycle.
Okay.
So they have been supportive.
Okay. So you definitely have been encouraged by and supported by a lot of like-minded people from the corporate and the business world to continue your mission. But when you look back on your journey, are there any special moments where you went back to the space where you had planted a tree a few years ago? Because the moment trees start filling up barren land, the entire ecosystem starts changing. Birds start coming, animals start moving in. So has an entire space been converted, and the joy of seeing that been an experience that you'd like to share with us, Janet?
It happened very recently. I'm working for Bosch India Foundation, and we are doing a lot of work in Anekal. So we were going around to see who needs help. So we went to Thimayana tribal colony. And there, as soon as I entered, I knew I had seen this particular building somewhere in my past. So I went there, and then the man from there, he recognized me. He said, Madam, you came and planted trees here. And he took me to the school where the trees are more than 10-year-old. And it was such a joy to see this. That was the only trees that I have planted is in that community. No other trees.
Oh,
Only
Okay.
one road I have planted, and in this inside the school, there's like a barrier. The trees are grown. Only these two trees, and it was a real joy.
Okay. And so, since you've been doing this for how many years now, Janet?
2005, I started.
2005. So it's almost like 20 years.
20 years.
20 years you've been doing. So how many trees have you planted?
97,000. We keep track of every tree that we plant. And
Okay.
we don't plant just because people are asking. We check the place, whether it is good for a tree to grow there, and whether it can come up, because sometimes people show right under the trees to plant, which may not take off only. So
Correct.
we check that, and we check whether it's too close for the compound wall or the building. So tomorrow it should not be removed because it's going to damage the walls.
Yeah.
So all these things we do, and then we go and plant.
Okay. 97,000. Oh, wow. Okay. And this 97,000 is in and around Karnataka.
Yes.
In and around Karnataka, you have contributed 97.
Only 2,000 is outside in Tanjavur, in
Oh,
Tamil Nadu.
that's a lot. Do you remember your first tree planting moment?
First tree planting was in my own road. The trees have grown very big, and this is the only road which is green in Ijipura.
In this journey, today we talk about awareness, and you were creating that awareness long back on why it is important to plant trees. But I want you to think back a little and see from where and what prompted you to think of tree planting in memory of your husband. Was he also somebody who loved nature?
Nature, he used to water the plants and look after the garden. Also, he was a part of the garden.
Okay. And why did you think of tree
Tree
planting?
planting, because we used to see huge trees being removed, especially on Hosur Road. In the center of the road, huge trees were there. And those were removed first, as I remember. And that was really, that's the time the people were asking me to come for Dharna. That's the time I realized that better to go ahead and plant trees. So within no time, the trees can grow into as big as these trees, which is being lost.
And any idea from where you got this attitude, Janet? Because going to a group, going with the group, joining a group which is already agitating and creating awareness with the government saying that what you're doing is wrong is something which is easy to do. But from where did that thought come to you that instead of going and agitating there, I might as well get into action?
Action.
Yeah.
That's from inner me.
So what were you like a girl? Were you always a leader?
I was very introvert, actually. Never used to speak to anyone. Okay.
And
Only now I'm becoming little better after joining Rotary and doing projects for them. Only now I'm little better. I can't say completely this thing.
Okay, so as a little girl, was nature a place that you would like to go and spend your time? Trees, greenery,
Every summer I used to be in my aunt's house in Madikeri.
yeah.
Every summer till I started working, because
Yeah.
after that you can't get holidays like that.
Correct.
And it is a completely wooded area. House. Wooded means even today, they now don't cut any trees. It's a complete forest. In between one brook, there's a little river flowing inside. So we used to spend most of our time there only and plucking all the wild berries.
Yeah.
And eating them. That was our main thing.
So it is those things that made you happy, and that's why you wanted to continue the joy. What is it that prompted you to?
I'll tell you that one thing.
Yeah.
I was into landscaping. I started making my neighbors' gardens, and then factory gardens, and then finally did Kantirava Stadium. After that only, I got into landscaping for friends and everybody.
So during the course of landscaping, you understood the value of trees. How did trees come into your life?
Trees was always there. From Madikeri, it was there with me.
Okay. So right from the time you're a little girl, trees were part of who you were and part of you. So now when you carry on in a mission, especially a voluntary mission, funds are a huge challenge. How did you overcome those funds? Because when you carry so many saplings and go to different places, you need vehicles along with the volunteers to take the volunteers along, take your instruments along, all the tools that you use. So, how and who came forward to help you in order to take the mission forward?
I started tree planting in my old Zen car. Okay. Soon the engine started giving trouble and told my volunteers that we'll stop planting. And they started collecting funds. And in 2010, bought a Mahindra 5-seater Bolero that could carry people as well as plants and even the bamboo tree guards for protection for the trees. And we used to go in that along with the volunteers to any part of Bangalore. And when we started planting for the farmers, the same vehicle has taken us more than hundreds of kilometers, I should say, not on roads, but on tracks. Inside the villages, you don't find any roads.
Correct.
But still, this particular vehicle has given us really full-time planting and satisfaction. And now it is 15 years old and it needs replacement. The FC time has come.
And this farmer collaboration that you just spoke about, how did that come about? How did farmers trust you?
See what happened. We were planting inside the city. And slowly we realized that it is futile to plant inside the city when we don't know the future of that plant. There's a lot of work being done inside in the name of development. And every day roads are being removed and underpasses, everything is coming up. Of course, it is required for this city. But we don't blame them. But we realize that we better not plant here, which has no future. So farmers were asking us for fruit trees. So we went out to plant for them. More than 30,000 plants have been planted for the farmers. There also my volunteers came forward and they showed us the place where marginal farmers required fruit trees to enhance their income. So those who had water facility, they used to find those places and then they used to keep everything ready. We go with the plant and with the volunteers, we'll plant it for the farmers. And farmer is one person who will look after the tree. He will not allow it to die.
Yeah.
Okay. And we also make sure that it is planted where there is a water. So that way all the trees are coming up everywhere. And we get feedback from the volunteers also. If anything dies, we replace it for them.
Okay.
That's how we have been working.
Okay. And is there any ongoing project now where you're working with the farmers? And
Yes. We are planting for HD Kote.
Okay.
We want to plant 150. We are waiting for cycle to give us a date for planting.
Okay. So that's going to be a new project or it's an ongoing one?
It is for the farmers what we plant and tribals.
Okay. Okay.
Even in Ooty we have planted. We plant for tribals also. A lot of trees we have planted. And we plant what the farmer wants.
Yeah.
Whatever trees they want. We don't go and say, I'm planting this. Because he may want a coconut tree, we plant it for him.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay. And from where do you get your saplings?
We buy it.
You buy it. Okay.
Because trees have fruit tree saplings you cannot store for a long time. It will die on you.
Yeah.
Okay, if little bit of water is not, it doesn't receive. It in between the lot, you'll find some of them dead. So it becomes too much of this thing, hassle. So we buy it 2 days before, then take it and plant it off directly.
So you run completely on donations?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
And we have this thing where people can buy from our website. People can buy tree planting certificates. Each certificate, 1 tree. So whenever they buy, we plant it for them. We send a message to them that on such and such a day we are planting. And if they want, they can come. Otherwise, we send them pictures of planting.
And any moment like that which you recall, which is special for you? Any of the, awards are always special, but anything special in this journey that makes you so happy that you got on this journey?
That is my food forest.
Okay.
Planting for farmers, I noticed a lot of land was barren. but not, you see some of the land, even if it's barren, during rainy season, you see some crop.
Correct.
But these, even during rainy season, there was no greenery there. Then I started asking my volunteers, what is wrong with this thing? He said, people have bought the land, they have owned the land, but they are not able to sustain because they don't have enough infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
So they are leaving it and going to the city in search of jobs. And even when I go to any hotel and all, when we ask the security or anyone in that cadre, you find that they are farmers and they own land, but they come here for a job, which is a very sad thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought, okay, we'll try to see why it is not working out. So we took one such land with the help of a volunteer, and it's a 5-acre land which didn't have anything, no fencing, nothing was there. So we started from scratch. We put the fencing and we did the borewell and Krishi Honda to store water, whatever is necessary. We did it. Even watchman shed, we installed a watchman family also there. And mainly we built a toilet. But most of these places you don't find toilet when anyone wants to go also. So we built that. And then we put manure and we cultivated the whole land. And we started with fruit trees. Said we are going to fill up the whole place with fruit trees and leaving enough gap between the rows. So that there the farmer can continue to cultivate vegetables. So that's how it started. And now it's running for the past 3 years now. And it's doing very well. And here we want it like a model for the other farmers to replicate. So what we have done is we have built one room also there where people can come and stay. And even from XIME college, the interns came here there, spent 2 weeks there and learned the whole, like get into mud and really tilling the soil and planting with mud slush, everything they learned. And they had to cook their own food because we have a kitchen also attached. So that is the thing we gave them. And after that, I brought some ladies for women empowerment. And we have bee boxes in this farm. So we showed them how to keep bees, and trainer was brought there and he showed them how to rear bees. And then we had a lot of flowers also in the garden for the bees require.
Correct.
And then we had a mushroom cultivation also. We showed it to the women empowerment. From Anikal they were brought to Polar. This.
Wow. So this is a question out of curiosity. So when you have bees that you cultivate along with the flowers, are there butterflies which naturally come too?
Yes.
Okay.
When there's flowers around, everything will start coming.
Yeah, because that pollination helps even in the fruits,
Yes,
is
yes,
what is said,
yes.
right?
That is the idea to
Okay.
have the bee boxes. Everything is all the things, I should appreciate the volunteers who come out with their suggestions and how to go about it. Everything they give the inputs.
In times like this, when it's very hot and summers really kill plants, many of the plants because of the heat, you have to understand how to water, how much to water, and why it is important to water. And there are places which are drought-ridden as well. So you have to choose the plant very well so it can withstand this. So there is a lot of study also that
has to be done. Yeah, that is what we have done in this food forest for number one, what we have started.
Okay.
It's a dry place because it's Kolar.
Correct.
Water is less.
Yes.
So what we have done is we have gone for plants that doesn't require much of watering, like your dragon fruit. That has come out very well. Last year we had a good crop of it. And then ginger and all those things which doesn't require turmeric.
Okay.
There's 5 varieties of turmeric we are growing. We are growing all types of fruit trees so that we'll be able to show people how it looks. At least the plant. There's nothing that is not there. Anything.
Correct.
From grapevine to everything is there in that farm.
And what has been the biggest lesson that nature has taught you, Janet?
Oh, lots. Especially in farming, we realize what it is for a farmer to farm. It's so easy for us to say, oh, farming, why he's not doing. But go to see, it's full of drawbacks that we realized in this. Because first and foremost, we put sunflower. And when the sunflower came, parrots started coming. And then we put this thing, corns. And corn started very nicely. We were really happy, juicy corns. And next thing we know, it is the deers which are jumping the fence, coming and destroying the whole thing.
Okay.
And deers don't eat one or two corns. They completely smash the plant and destroy the whole thing. Like that, we have been having so many even attacked by, because it's we don't use pesticides.
Correct.
Organic form, so a lot of things are there, which even we have volunteers who are scientists. So they tell us, fruit scientists are there, and they tell us what to do for what. So it's been very, this thing for us, very good for us.
Yeah. A lot of education.
And
So most of your volunteers are hands-on, they meet one another, you have to work on the ground. And what happened in 2020 was COVID. So suddenly the world went inward, nobody could go out.
That is the time I really learned a lesson, because volunteers are very useful, and people wanted to give things to the people who are suffering, but they didn't know how to go about it. They did not know how to come out of the thing. That is the time we came out into the thing, and volunteers and I used to go to interior villages, across the city also, and go to interior villages where they were all cut off from the city. And a lot of people were giving us ration kits. They were ready to give. We used to collect from them. Even Deccanher and Prajavani, they gave us finance support. So that we could give lots of toiletries and grocery for people. Inside the city also, we have given for the transgenders and orphanages and old age homes. Everywhere used to go. Without even, it never struck us that we may get COVID. But we were careful. Not that we were not careful. We were careful and none of us got.
But the tree planting, Reforest India had changed its mission during COVID into helping people more with what they needed immediately. Or did even your tree planting continue at that point of time? Because nature thrived during.
We used to give them fruit trees along with the grocery kits for the villages. That this thing concept we had. And working with the farmers and interior villages was not new to me. I was in Rotary, and I was the president of Rotary Koramangala 1718, and I had done a lot of projects in interior Karnataka, where we used to conduct the health camps and so many things we used to do, and that was really made helpful during the COVID.
Because COVID was one time where we realized humans were least required by nature. Without us, nature really did well. Unseen birds and animals came out, and nature was happiest with us. Right?
To be away from the humans.
And we realized we were least important in the cycle of nature itself. A very big, important lesson for us to tell us how humble we should be, not take nature for granted. Yes.
But still, it is not learned. Man has not learned the lesson.
No. I think now we are back to what we were doing before. That is true. We are very bad students. So, Janet, when we are talking about COVID, and COVID was a big challenge, all overcome now. What is and your mission continues on reforesting India. Is there any particular message, especially with Earth Day coming around and this being an Earth Day special, is there any particular message that you'll want to give the listeners as to what they should remember with their relationship that they can have and nurture with Mother Earth? After all, we call her Mother Earth, so clearly she's forgiving. But more than forgiving, what is it that she has taught you as the most important lesson when you interact with her?
My aim of contributing to global cooling by reforesting India and sequestering maximum amount of carbon in the shortest possible time in the most effective manner.
Yeah.
I understand that trees, forests are the only natural carbon sinks to cool the globe.
True. Very true. Very true.
Apart from global cooling, my efforts are to contribute with other natural benefits of reforestation, like increased biodiversity, biomass, precipitation, rainfall, groundwater levels, and increased ability to soil to retain and release water for longer periods of time. I want my efforts to yield watershed management and stabilization of local climate.
So this has been your learning from nature and what you request of people to do with nature, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And is there any life lesson that you would like to leave us with? Usually we end with 3 life lessons that you have learned from whatever you're doing. So are there any 3 life lessons that you'd like to leave us with?
I am 73 now. Okay, I'm going to be 74.
Oh.
And I feel that as long as you are happy and you want to do something, nature will see that you do it. It will not come in the way.
Okay.
See, age does not matter.
True.
I'm proud that I was found fit enough to carry out the project of setting up the Community Development Center at Anekal for Bosch Foundation and conducting programs for farmers, women empowerment, and computer training. I'm happy that I was able to get a word of appreciation from Bosch for the work done by me recently, that is last few months. It says, thank you for wonderful support throughout the 24-25 period. All the programs we implemented in Anekal have been true milestones, and I deeply appreciate your valuable contributions. To get at this age such appreciation, I'm really happy with my life. Okay. I'm happy to stay happy.
Wow. You know, Janet, when we all set out on our journeys, each of us has a different dream.
Yes.
Each of us wants to be successful, popular, make a difference, have a lot of people know us. And success as a definition is very different for different people. Do you have your definition of success? What does success mean to you?
What does success mean to me? That I plant more trees.
Yeah.
And I convert more the dry land into forests with the help of people. And I have more such volunteers who are already with us, who are very cheerful and helping, and who are from the heart, they are for the nature.
So when your passion becomes the purpose of your life, I think everything around life
looks nice.
Happiness and it looks nice and green. Because life is all about happiness, and that's the biggest lesson nature teaches us.
Correct.
Is there any appeal that you want to do, Janet, as a closing remark? Anything that you want to ask or anything that you want to tell whoever is tuned in and listening to you?
Yes, I have 2 things.
Sure.
One is we need replacement for our bolero because we plant trees and we had to carry the saplings, carry the tree guards, carry the people. And without the vehicle, we cannot do this. And our vehicle is 15 years old and it's come to FC stage. So it needs replacement and I need sponsors for this. And one more thing is food forest, where barren land is converted into farmland. So for that, I want people to invest in it, so that more and more number of barren land gets converted into greenery.
Okay.
And the farmer also benefits.
Yes. Yeah. So true. All the very best, Janet. God bless you for the wonderful work that you and your volunteers are doing. And I'm sure you'll find the people who are willing to be part of your journey, and especially this meaningful journey where all your mission is about greening the earth.
Thank you.
What
Rashmi.
a wonderful warrior International Earth Day, and it's called Mother Earth Day. And you are so typical, the mother that we usually personify. Shine on, God bless, and continue inspiring, Janet. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
With that, we complete this episode of You and I with Rashmi Shetty. Do let us know if you know inspirational people whose story needs to be heard. You can write in at rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com. That is rashmi.thethirde@gmail.com.